1993, 1994, every single person was looking for telecommunications, but no one ever said, I want mobile communication. In my country, Zimbabwe, the waiting list for the fixed line was 42 years. Here in Nigeria, when we came in 2001, there were 500,000 telephone lines for almost 100 million people. 500,000 phones. And 400,000 phones were in the hands of corporates. The rest were in the hands of individuals. Now, what that means is that there were people in Nigeria that had never heard a phone ring unless they heard it on a television. So we're starting from that idea, from that perspective that it's just an idea, there's nothing else. And we start building a business. So first and foremost, it was an idea, it was a new environment, a new technology that had never been implemented before. And there we are, we were young. I think when I joined telecommunications, I was 32. The founder of Econet was 36. And the average age of staff was 22 years old. Average age of management was between 28 and 32. And young people going into a market that has never been there before. We were facing deregulation, okay? At that time, it was deregulation that needed to happen because the government was in control of fixed networks. You remember governments needed to say that they were in control of all the telecommunications, the incoming calls, outgoing calls, they controlled and monitored. So we are coming out and saying, I'm going to establish a business that is independent of government, where technology would deregulate every single thing that the government, all the laws that were set for telecommunications were going to be deregulated by technology. We were facing a situation where we needed funds. Now, on average, for a telephone network, even in the smallest country, you have to have at least $100 million US. We are young people. The telecommunications that we want to build is so much bigger. The banks in the country don't have the capacity to do it. So we're now having to learn about financing. Financing of big projects, financing of projects that would only make a profit in 5 years, financing of a project that the bank managers did not understand, okay? We were competing in the different markets with giants that existed, giants coming out of Europe because they were the ones that were bidding for telecommunication, for GSM. It was the first time. I remember in Botswana, when we submitted our bid, the newspaper said, there's some Mickey Mouse company that has applied to do this. They've never operated, because we'd never operated. They've never heard of us. They don't know of any of our experience, but we had a determination. I'm just painting a picture here of what entrepreneurs face at different levels. But these are the challenges that we were facing. We're also facing a situation where we would go international, going into new markets. Remember, long back, before the internet, the Ministry of Finance or Ministry of Foreign Affairs in our country would have to apply to the Ministry of, communicate with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the country that you wanted to go to. Now, the internet was saying power and influence is now concentrated in the individual, not concentrated through government. Okay, so that change is something that we were facing at that time. I don't know if you sort of understand where I'm coming from. We were facing also a situation where going into the different countries, I talked about culture. You needed to understand culture. Now, telecommunications is extremely unique. There is nothing that I learned in school that I didn't have to apply. History, geography, finance, mathematics, whatever I did at school, I had to apply. I mean, when we came to Nigeria, you needed to understand that building a network in the Delta region, where there is all this dense vegetation and rain, etc., is different from building in Kano. So you needed to understand the geography. In terms of the history, I think when we were building in Burundi, I recruited the best team that I thought we could have, until I was called by the regulators and they said, but why have you recruited this one tribe? Your network is based off one tribe. I said, I don't even know what you do. They said, don't you know the history of our people? So you are perpetuating something that we are trying to remove. Same thing here in Nigeria. I just applied, I advertised, I received 10,000 applications. And then when the network was being built, I was approached, we had governors in different places, and they were saying, yeah, but your network is only concentrated amongst these people. So you can't come to this area. I mean, I had staff kidnapped in certain places, I will not mention where, because we had recruited people that were not relevant to those areas. We had to understand religious differences, that in Kano, you do not do this and do that and do that. It's all things that you need to learn and to understand. I'm just saying that the technical side of building a business, to say I'll scale it, is not, yes, there's the technical stuff that you'll get in lecture rooms, but this is the stuff that we had to deal with and that we continue to deal with. I could go on, I'll leave the presentation available for anyone who wants to look at that. But technology, as it has come, the internet has changed the way that we operate, has changed, global consumer trends. A lot of, we now have virtualization, we have got softwareization, we have got convergence, we've got data analytics. Now, let me tell you, one of the challenges that we needed to deal with is that you're building a business, you're saying that we've got now a 3G network, 2G network. But whilst you are building and investing in a 2G network, 3G has started coming through. We were going to make our money on voice. And now all of a sudden, WhatsApp has come because of virtualization. So you've got an evolving technology that is taking place. So the dynamism in the marketplace, is so serious. It's, you've got to continue to act. You've got to continue to work on it. The consumer themselves have changed. Long back, you could tell the consumer what you want. You could tell the consumer what they need. But as technology has come through, the internet has come through, the consumer tells you what they want. It's changed. The definition of marketing has changed because now, with Apple, with all these companies, they'll tell you a need that you never thought you had. Yet marketing is telling you that identify consumer needs and build a product that satisfies that need at a profit to the company, isn't it? For those that do marketing. But technology is saying, no, we will create a need and we will tell you what your need is. And so that has caused consumers to change and the behavior of consumers to change. Now, I'm just giving a background to what the kind of considerations that you must have if you're going to scale your business.